Hello. This quick tutorial will show you a fast and easy way to help you figure out the model origin relative to each other for building props that are split up. For example, the jukebox is three models: the main body, the insides, and the buttons. The buttons have a completely different origin, and therefore importing everything into Blender will give you a scene that does not look like it does in the game. The body and the insides are at the correct location because they share their origin, but the buttons have been moved to the middle of the scene because it has a different origin. Blender imports all meshes with the origin at the 0, 0, 0 point of the scene. So I, as a modder, must now figure out where the origin is and apply that to my model. But how do I figure out where that location is? Well, that's why I made this tutorial. All you need is Hammer, Crafty, and Blender. The first thing you need to do is create a map that has nothing but the models you need. In my case, the jukebox is a prefab that I can just open, but you might have to separate the models from a map. Once you have the models opened in Hammer, you have to duplicate all the meshes into the exact same location. You can do that by holding Shift and dragging the models one unit on the grid to the right and back. Alternatively, you can right-click the models, select Copy, and then Paste Special. That will place them in the exact same location. Once you have your duplicates, hit Ctrl and H to hide everything but what you have just selected. Then change all models to axishelper.mdl. If your selection consists of different prop types, like a static and dynamic prop, just change them all to one type. It really does not matter which one. All we want is to have the Axis Helper model visible. Once you have replaced all models with axis helpers, you can make your own arrows out of brushes, since the tool we use to make a model later on can only handle brushes. Just make sure that the very tip of your arrow is exactly at the location the axis helper model points to. Once you have made the arrows, you can save the map in a folder of your choice. Then you can open up Crafty, import your map that you just saved, and export it as a model into the same folder. Once saved, you can import the model into Blender. You will notice that all meshes are separated into several pieces. Just select all of those pieces and join them into one mesh. You will also notice that it's rotated and not in the correct location yet. For that, simply enter Edit mode on your arrow mesh, select the vertex which you are sure is the origin of one of the models that you have, and set the Blender cursor to that vertex. Then, in Object mode, select Object, Transform, Origin to 3D Cursor. That will set the origin of your arrow mesh to that vertex. Now you can move your arrow mesh to the actual model that you want. Simply select the model that you are working on which has the correct origin, set the Blender cursor to that model, and then snap your arrow mesh to that Blender cursor location. Once it is moved, all you need to do now is rotate the arrow mesh correctly, and the other arrow will indicate where the proper origin location for the other mesh is supposed to be. You can put the Blender cursor to that new origin location and move your incorrectly placed model into that location. Or in my case, separate the mesh that needs to be separated, set that point as the origin of the separated mesh, and then move it to the center of the scene where its origins are supposed to be. That is all. Now you know how to give a misaligned model the correct alignment in Blender and use that as a base to make your own mods. I hope this tutorial was useful for you. If you want, you can subscribe for more updates on mods or more tutorials. Or don't. I don't really care. Take care.